Hello and welcome to episode 28 of All the Stitches. My name is Colleen and I'm coming to you from the Lakes region of New Hampshire in the United States. Well, if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. This is a channel about my quilting, knitting, cross stitch and other needlework. And if you're returning, then you know. I'm so sorry I've been away for so long. I haven't made a video since November. And if you've been here before, you know it's because we have a new puppy. He's not so new anymore. He's 7.5 months old. But I'm going to give you a little update on Pete at the end of the video so that if you're not interested in hearing about that, then you can say goodbye at that point. I'm just making a quick little video at the end of my day here because I'm afraid more time will pass and I won't get to it. But since we're in the middle of February, I thought I had better go over my Make-9 list for 2021 and let you know how I did. Or else it will be 2023 before I know it. So without further ado, just a reminder, what I did for 2021 is I put them on the board here and I chose, because I'm a multi-crafter, I chose 3 knitting projects, 3 needlework projects, and 3 quilting projects. So how did I do? Well, first off, my knitting projects. So the first one I chose is and by the way, instead of going over all the yarns and all the details, I will make those notes in the description box below. So if you go click on the down pointing arrow, you'll find any details that you might want. So first of all is the first sweater that I finished is the Throwover sweater by Andrea Mowry. Excuse all the little pills. I've worn this quite a bit. It was a fun color work project and very easy and quick because it's worsted weight yarn. The Throwover was my first finish of my Make-9 for last year. My second finish was the vanilla sweater. The vanilla sweater is a pattern by Corrine Tomlinson of the Woolly Thistle. So number 2 is done. My third sweater I did finish, and it is Love Note by Tin Can Knits. I've yet to wear this one. Just trying to figure out what to wear it with, but it's a fingering weight and I'm not sure, is it fingering? Yes, it's fingering weight yarn held together with a strand of mohair. So it's a really cuddly and soft yarn. Though I have to say I had mohair all over the living room and up my nose for the whole time I was working on it. So I couldn't wait to get it done. But I'm very pleased. So those are my 3 knitting projects. You can see my check marks there. And I did get those done. As well as several other knitting projects, including this crazy flashing light here. That is something I've had for a couple of years now. It's Christmas lights, copper Christmas lights knitted, and you hang them on the needles that you knit them on. And I always wanted to make that. I just thought that was so much fun. But there were multiple things. If you look at some of my other videos through the year, and particularly my 1-year anniversary video, you'll see over a year's worth of projects I've made that I've shown here on this channel. Anyway, my next grouping is my needlework grouping. So this I finished early in the year. And my lights might not do these things justice here because it's all framed. But this is a little sampler from the Drawn Thread. Again, can't remember the names of some of these things, but I will put the details below. It is counted cross stitch. I think it is just adorable. It's something I've had this pattern for so many years and really stopped cross stitching. but I recently got back into it, so I'm really pleased with this. And in case you don't remember it, it says, "Little lamb, my gentle friend, gives up his coat as snows begin to make my mittens, scarf, and hat, and I stay warm because of that." Then my needlework project that I finished was this. This is a Lori Holt stitch card. I believe it's stitch card C. And I did this on a 25 count Laguna. This is the smallest fabric I've used in cross stitch, and it was 1/2. So that was an accomplishment for me. My next needlework project is sweater weather. This is a Plum Street Samplers counted cross stitch, and love the little hot dogs there on the bottom in sweaters. And I decided to make a little quilt out of it instead of framing it or making it into a pillow. I really enjoy making these little quilts, a little quilted wall hanging. So that is sweater weather. So again, how did I do in needlework? In needlework, 3 checks. I got them all. Very pleased, especially pleased that I got the something I don't have on the list here is a long time unfinished project, the Black Lab needlepoint. It was quite big. I think it's 12 or 14 inches square. So that was a major finish this year, but not on my Make-9 list. Okay, my next group is my quilting group. So I have to get up to get that. Okay, so my 3 quilting projects. Now, remember, I consider myself a quilter who knits and does needlework. So I am almost a total failure across the board on my quilting projects, and I can blame my puppy for that. But here are my 3 quilting projects. It was the Patches of Blue Sampler, which was a 2018 quilt along with laundry basket quilts, and I did this 1 block a month for the year, except for one thing. I never did finish the final block in last year. I did it this January, and the reason, you quilters will understand, the reason it took so long is that it was a big feathered star block. So it was a big, like a 20-inch feathered star block. It was a lot of work. I mean, it was fine once it was done, but it took a lot to figure out the cutting and how it went together, and I just didn't have the headspace for it. So I did it. I got the whole thing put together this month in February, and just have to add a small border. I have some repair to do. I have some things to take out and fix. But beyond that, it's still a win, I guess, because though the quilt's not done and the quilt top isn't completely done, I met my goal. So I'm satisfied with that. I'll throw it aside. And my next one was a quilted portrait of my former dogs, George and Gracie. And how did I do? Well, I think you saw some of this. I got the dogs done, but I didn't get the quilt done. So I got the hard part done. Now it's a matter of putting it on a backing, making up a backing of some sort. It's going to be pretty simple, but I put this aside because the real dog came along, the real puppy came along, and there was no more sitting at the sewing machine for me. So my third and final Make-9 quilt for 2021 was this called Pinehurst from Laundry Basket Quilts. And mine was going to be in green and white. I have the fabric. I've had the fabric for over a year. Never touched it. In fact, I think really early in the year, I put the fabric away and said, yep, I'll get to it. And never did. So that's it. That is my Make-9 for 2021. And all in all, you can see my little check marks. You can see, well, what did I do? I got 6 completely done. I got 2 nearly done, and 1, forget about it. That might go on next year's. Whether or not I do a Make-9 for 2022, we shall see. I kind of have it in my mind. I know what knitting projects I want to do. There's so many needlework projects I want to do that that's really the problem. I just can't quite figure out which ones I want to do. Do I want to do something really big, or do I want to do a lot of small things? Who knows? I'll see where the year takes me. I'm hoping to get back to my sewing machine soon, because little Pete, he's getting a little older, a little more independent, but you know, what can I say? Okay, so now I'm going to do a little Pete update if you're interested. If you're not interested, I thank you so much for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to, especially after all this time. And for those who want to hear the little quick update on Pete, here we go. So yes, here's Pete's picture. Pete is 7.5 months old now. And at this point, I've decided he is like a young teenage boy going through puberty who has the brain of a toddler. Yeah, that's what a 7-month-old Labrador is. And he's a lot of dog. He's getting so big. He's a big husky boy. He's still as cute as a button. I swear it's what keeps them alive, because if they weren't so darn cute, you might have to just throw them out on the street. But he's keeping us both really busy. He's very active. I think we really, and we're real dog people, have had dogs our whole lives, and very experienced dog people, but he is keeping us on our toes, and he's a bit of a challenge, a little stubborn, way too smart for his own good. But he's done good. He's been through 2 terms of obedience training. He still kind of decides what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do, but he's doing okay. So hopefully, as he gets a little more independent, I might be able to get back to my sewing machine. And but I think, you know, having one person with him all day is a lot. I've spent today with him alone while my husband had to go out and do things, and it was a lot today. So he's back, thank goodness, and he has charge of him for now. But to do it day after day would be tough. To those who have a puppy by themselves, God bless you. There's a place in heaven for you for sure. So I think that is my Pete update, as well as my Make-9. If I can get my act together and get a Make-9 list for 2022, if I can do that before the end of this month, I'll have that for you. And then as soon as I can after that, I'll resume and catch up with some of the things that I have made since my last video, which was in November. I am still making like crazy. When he is napping, I am knitting, and I am doing my cross stitch and needlework. So hopefully I'll have something for you soon enough. But in the meantime, I hope all of your stitches bring joy. Take care.